Well, everybody got one. I don't know about that part. Did you believe? My thing is this. When it's your opinion, it's yours. Boom goes the dynamite. Girl, man. You don't go somewhere. You are now listening to This Is My Thing with your host, Karina Dean. Are now tuned in. My Thing Is This with your host, Miss Prina, the podcast with that woman who got something to say about everything, whether it's pop culture, social media, news, and things that you probably only talk about when you've had a few glasses of wine. Sit back and don't fast forward. My Thing Is This starts now. What about your friends, y'all? What about your friends? Alright, so today's topic is friendship. This isn't so much of a rant, but a serious conversation. I know people have their own opinions on what a friend should do or be like, or how friends should act. Now, the two situations I want to talk about today are dealing with the thought of money, and the other one is dealing with oversharing. We'll say that, oversharing. So there is a tweet of a screen grab. Y'all know how they do. Screen grab something from Twitter, screen grab something from Facebook, put it on Twitter, record something from Snapchat and post it. Y'all know. So this is a screen grab from Facebook, posted onto Twitter, and it sort of kind of went viral in both locations. So right now on Twitter, it has about 94,000 shares and about the same amount on Facebook. I'm going to read you the Facebook update, and then I want to tell you my opinions on this and why I kind of feel like it was a little wrong. All right. So the Facebook update is posted by Adamisha D'Angela Brown. And she says, stop sending your kids out with their friends knowing that they don't have any money on them. I was working today and 8 young guys came in and they all ordered one of them. I was working today. Y'all know these people updates. You know they don't be writing complete sentences. I was working today and 8 young guys came in and they all ordered. Period. That should have been a period. Instead, she made a triple, quadruple contraction sentence. Y'all forgive me. Sometimes I could be a grammar Nazi. Let me start this over. Stop sending your kids out with their friends knowing that they don't have any money on them. I was working today and 8 young guys came in and they all ordered. One of them was kind of lingering on the side and another joked, "Ha ha, you thought you were about to get something," after he finished placing his order. And then a little dude nicely laughed it off, ordered 1 cookie, while all 7 of his friends ate great and didn't offer him a thing. Then he must have found some more change because he came back up and ordered another cookie. I waited until they were about to go and caught the little guy before he went out. I rushed a whole plate to him like, "Oh, you forgot your order, sir. Sorry it took so long," and whispered to him, "Pay attention to how people treat you." Not to mention, he was a young black kid and all his friends weren't. We can't let our own go out sad. I can't do it. Now, it was several factors pointed out into this post. So some people were saying things like, first, of course, they mentioned the obvious. Oh, they tried to throw the race card. Oh, this wouldn't have happened if he were hanging around other black little boys. Of course, someone tried to have a full conversation about how it was racist and watch who you hang around. There were comments like, "This is why I don't trust white people," blase sweet. If you want to look at it like that, you can. Now, I posted this on my Facebook. One of my friends replied, "Sounds like the kids were teenagers. Kids sometimes go after school with their friends to eat. I know I did. I didn't always have money either, and my mom didn't always know where I was going after school. If my son don't budget his money, he'll be eating cookies too." I say, okay. And then she also said, because these are boys, Boys sometimes joke and they pick on each other all the time, especially teenage boys. They are less likely to share their food and money with other males. Girls are different. I used to split whatever I had with my best friend if she didn't have money or vice versa. My whole take on this is you learn about friendships and being a friend at a young age. So whether these boys were 12 or 18, they were old enough to go to a store, sit in a restaurant, have money, and pay for food. So they know the difference between being a good person, being a generous person, in a sense. They might not have it 100% down, but they know. And especially if it were 7 white boys and 1 African American boy. That's if. All she said was his friends were not black. We don't know what the race of the other boys is, but I feel like that's irrelevant. Also, the commenter who suggested that, it was because they was boys and that's how boys act. No. How you act like that when you're a little kid, and necessarily men don't act like that when they get older. Now, I'm not expecting a lot from kids at the end of the day, but the fact is that you teach your kids how to act towards other people. You teach your kids how to be good people. And creating relationships and friendships is one of those first things that we learn growing up. You can tell when somebody's in high school if they two-faced it, if they fake. You can tell in high school if somebody's just not a good person, and that stuff usually carries on into adulthood. Sometimes it's hard for people to relearn how to have relationships with people. I mean, there are people out here who go through years of therapy just to know how to handle relationships. And then for some people, it just comes naturally. You just learn it and you just know how to be a good friend. Now, I wanted to have a discussion about this because this comes to the conversation about just looking out for people in general. There is never going to be a point in my life in any time where I'm going to be sitting at a table with 7 people eating good. Maybe you having a broke day. Maybe you just didn't have money, but you still wanted to be a part of the crowd. We all know that sometimes not having certain things can cut us off from certain, experiences in life. And that one thing of being able to go out with your friends after school, hang out and eat, you shouldn't have to be excluded because either, you didn't know what was going to happen or your parents don't send you out with money. It's no different than kids not being able to eat lunch at school. If you have it, you should be able to either share it or give. Now, in the post, the lady explained that, they were eating good, which to me says that maybe the boys is cashing out on, big meals or whatever the case may be, while their friend sat there and ate cookies and was scrambling up his money, and all he can afford was to buy cookies, whether teenagers or adults. Okay, my thing is this: when it comes to being a friend, it's supposed to be somebody that you know that you can count on and that's going to have your back. Yes, there's limits to, somebody taking advantage of your kindness, somebody using you. You can peep that out if it happens more than once, if it happens often. But for have somebody to sit there and eat in your face is something that just don't agree with me well. Now, I had something like this happen to me a few years ago, and it upset me, but at the same time, you got to think to yourself, it's not other people's responsibility to take care of you. But if somebody considers themselves your friend, and when you got it, you always make sure you look out for them, but then when it's you, they're not looking out for you, then that really lets you know who your friends are. I had something similar to this happen to me a few years ago when I was, a broke college student back in the day, and our friends wanted to go hang out and go out to eat and go sit at restaurants, but I didn't really have any money and sat there at the table and no one offered offered me anything off their plate, offered me a sip of a drink or anything. And it was that moment where I realized, yes, these are friends, but they are not the pure definition of what a friend is. They are friendable. They are the verb version of friend, meaning I can friended them. Action verb. Or they're just somebody that you add on Facebook so you can keep up with them, and that's about it. But as far as being a friend, that is the moment when you realize whether or not somebody is just an associate, a high and by, or somebody is your friend. My thing is this: if somebody is my friend and I consider them my friend, I'm offering you something that I have. I'm going to share with you. If I eat, we all eat. I'm not sure I even know anybody who don't live by that mentality. And maybe it's something that is just in the African American community. I don't know. I can't say that because I'm only a part of one community. Maybe it's how people are raised. When it comes to certain things, as far as if something happened to one, it happened to all of us. You need to be looking out for your friends. That's just what a friend is, plain and simple. So I kind of agree with what she said when she told the little boy and whispered to him, pay attention to how people treat you. And then she she wanted to mention, yes, always pay attention to how people treat you. And then you can make those decisions in the future about whether or not you're going to hang around them, you're going to tell them certain things, you're going to invite them to certain events, And then I came and I seen the same thing similar on Wendy Williams today, which really made me want to go into this whole conversation about friendships. A girl saw Wendy Williams and she said she has a friend who basically been broke, always broke, ain't had a job in 10 years, y'all. And she always RSVPing to every event. And so she explained that she was going to be having an event at an expensive steakhouse, and her friend RSVP, and she didn't know how to tell her friend that we're not about to pay your food, because it happens all the time. So that is the type of friendship situation where it's like, okay, she using you, she know her friends got money, and she know she ain't never got no money. That's where the situation begins, where it's like, if this person is your friend, you should have been able to tell them off rip, I only got enough money for me, I ain't about to cash you out. Girl, don't be RSVPing and stuff if you ain't got no money to it. Like, if you don't have friends where you can just straight up speak to them and keep it real, then maybe you shouldn't hang around them. I don't know what could be another reason why you would even want to be friends with that person. So this post kind of went viral on Twitter and went viral on Facebook, and it brought up the whole conversation with everybody, where everybody has something to say about it as far as what they were doing in this situation, And she started it off as stop sending your kids out with their friends knowing they didn't have any money. But yet at the same time, you're working at a restaurant and you're giving out free food. So a lot of people wanted to mention that she's giving out free food, and if you giving out free food, why do I need any money? Or whatever the case may be. And then, she started off saying, parents, stop sending your kids out with money. Some parents don't have money to be giving their kids all the time, And at the end of the day, we don't really know the gist of the situation. Maybe he just didn't want to be alone, whatever the case may be. Maybe he was just going out to hang with them. Maybe he just really did want cookies. She made a lot of assumptions about the situation, but it could have been something different. My whole theme of this conversation is about watching who your friends are, watching those people around you, and watching those people that you keep in your company. And this is a exact reason why a lot of friends that we have when we're younger, we grow out of them as we get older. Because, back in the day when I was younger, I used to go out a lot. I used to go out all the time. And I used to be cashing out. Because I only went out when I had money. I didn't really go out when I was broke. And if I did say I was broke, I was just acting like I was broke because my friends was acting like they was broke. But most nights when I went out, me and my friends, if I bought a drink, we was even sharing the drink, okay? If my friends bought drinks, sharing it. You buy this one, I buy the next one, or shots all around. And if it was a broke night, guess what? We was drinking Coronas, or we just stayed at home and bought a bottle and drink. But it never was a point where it was like, dang, I bought the drinks last time, or dang, I paid for everybody to get in this time. Who gonna hook me up, or who gonna buy this? And of course, I look at other friendships and I be like, dang, they friends bought them, trips, or they friends bought them, Christmas gifts. I never, had friends where we actually did a gift exchange every Christmas or every holiday. I just didn't have friends like that. That's just the type of friendships that we didn't really have. I mean, Christmas came and go. Nobody really got anybody gifts. I mean, I planned birthday parties, but that's just wasn't the type of friendship level that we had. But sometimes when it comes to friendship, it's different on all levels, but it all comes from what your parents taught you how to be. And when it comes to just talking about this particular topic, I like to stick to the fact that if I'm eating, we all eating. I would never sit in a restaurant, sit anywhere and eat food, and I have a friend, somebody I call a friend, sitting next to me that isn't eating. That's just not how you do things. You should either somebody at that table about to share, or somebody about to be like, okay, let's all put in $1. Even if they all put in $1, that would have been $7. I'm sure he could have got him a burger and a fry with that, or something, or choose to go somewhere cheaper. That's just usually how it is. And if you don't like being around friends that don't have much or don't have anything, then guess what? That person probably doesn't need to be your friend. Because I know when I was younger and I was in 8th grade and 9th grade, around the time when my parents was getting divorced or breaking up, where I was going from one house, my mama's house, to maybe living with my daddy's house, I had a friend who was my best friend, who was always paying, her mama and her parents was always paying something for us, because we just didn't really have money like that or stability like that. And she's still my friend to this day. And I wasn't using her, and she just was a good friend, and she knew I didn't have it, especially with my parents not being together. And at the time, her parents actually were together, and they, our parents had a good job. So sometimes we gotta assess our situations. But if you're not gonna be a good friend to certain people, then you probably shouldn't even be friends with certain people. And that's just plain as that. Now, that's that situation. You guys can comment on this post, comment with the hashtag, my thing is this, anywhere online. If you want to know a reply to it, let me know what you think about this post. You can actually find it on Twitter. You can just follow me on Twitter at It's Only One Deprina. With the number 1, It's Only One Deprina. And you definitely will find this. I'm sure you'll probably hear about this post some more, or probably already seen it on your timeline, but it just really prompted me to talk about the conversation with friends and who your real friends are. And everybody decides to choose, pick and choose their friendships and handle their friendships differently. Like I said, how you are when you're younger in your friendships depends on how or who you grow out of friends with. I mean, even right now, I'm going through my own friend issues where I have all my friends that I grew up with and used to party with back in the day. They all live in a whole nother state. None of them live in New York. And I've been constantly having to make new friendships since 2010. For over the last 8 years, I've had to make new friendships. I went back to school. I moved to different states, worked at different jobs. And even with the different stuff I'm doing now, going into my career and, trying to get a higher level of education, those same friendships may not be on the same level as I am now, or we probably wouldn't even be able to relate on a lot of things because they aren't in the same situations I'm in. I mean, everything changes when you start to get older. That's just a fact of life. But situations like this, should be able to peep that stuff out when you are younger, so you know not to deal with it when you get older. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and do a part 2. So, you guys, I'm in a few groups on Facebook, and one of those groups I'm in is a group with basically all 4 wives. So a lot of wives like to post stuff about the relationship, their men cheat. Like, I literally can sit in this group all day and just read the comments and the conversations that go on. And it really just tells me there is a lot of women out here that have some cheating husbands, have a lot of marital issues, and a lot of them really are forgiving. But a particular post came across my timeline that I really thought would be a good conversation to have because it really shocked me. So first, I just want to say again, thank you for listening, guys. This is going to be a short part 2 because I feel like it relates to the first part where we was talking about friendships, or you want to call them situationships or associateships, or I don't know, social little ships. Whatever it is somebody that is you. So we all know, okay, let's put it like this. So the definition in the dictionary of a friend is a person whom you know, and somebody that you create some sort of bond with because you guys have a mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexuality or family. So it's not somebody you have sex with, and it's not somebody that's your family, but you guys have this particular bond. So those are the only people that really should be considered your friend. Now, this post that was posted in this wives group went as follows. So the girl posted, I'm in a group chat with one of my best friends and 2 other women, and we talk about numerous things, and sometimes they like to talk about their sex life. They share pictures in this group of their boyfriends or whoever they're dating at the time. They like to show pictures of the private parts. This is a space where they feel comfortable, and they like to talk about and post pictures of the guy that they're dating or their boyfriend. And the girl goes on to say, I'm a wife, I am married, and my best friend got mad at me because when they have these conversations, when it pertains to sex, I don't really engage in those conversations. I don't tell them about my sex life, and I don't post pictures of my husband's penis. My friend got mad at me because I wouldn't let her see how my husband's penis looked. So she got an attitude at me, and she not talking to me now. And she said that if I can't see her, if I don't show her my husband's penis, then we must not really be friends, and people do it all the time. So this is basically, in a nutshell, what her post said. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This is what I've been trying to talk about for weeks. I've been on this earth for 33 years. And I done met a lot of people from state to state to state. I done heard and seen girls, show their full collection of dick pics. Back in the day when you was single, when you was young. We all had that collection of dick pics. I mean, even now, with as much technology that's around the internet, we know dudes love to send a dick pic like it ain't nothing. Like it's a regular picture of them smiling, but it ain't. It's the dick smiling. Now, we all know a lot of single women have these collections of penises in there. I mean, it's just a penis. I mean, calm down. Calm down. But to say that somebody is not your friend no more because they didn't show you a picture of their husband's penis is very weird to me. This goes back to the first thing where the girl said, pay attention to how people treat you. First of all, why is she getting mad because she can't see somebody's penis? Second of all, why are you so pressed and want to see your best friend's husband's penis? And so the girl went on to say, she must think I'm crazy. And I'm like, yes, she must think you crazy. Because I had to do a long reply. First of all, my thing is this. You're not about to see my man's penis so you can sit at home and imagine and wish and lust over him. I don't know what you be doing behind closed doors. I don't know if she want his picture so she could jack off with it later. Like, come on. Seriously? So you gonna sit there and catch an attitude at somebody that you consider your best friend because they don't want to share something with you? Boo-boo, no. That's TMI. First of all, I'm like, that don't sound like a friend. Sound like you need to lose that friend and delete yourself from that group conversation because that just sound off the charts. Nobody is obligated to show you anything and then to try to sit there and say, oh, well, we not friends if you don't do this. We not friends if you don't do that. First of all, okay, the first rule of any relationship, situationship or friendship is respect. So that means you need to have respect for your friend's privacy and respect for something that they don't choose to participate in. I wish a chick would. I wish you would come through and ask for any pictures of my man's anything. I mean, all the pictures you probably got on your phone, why you worried about mine? And so this conversation or this post went on to say, you know, she be getting mad because she don't want to talk about. Listen, nobody is obligated. I don't care how close you are in this world. I don't care how close somebody is your best friend and you tell them everything. When it comes to certain topics, you're not obligated to tell people about your sexual relations or who you, especially in my opinion, if it's your husband. Okay, these little boys that you're going to get rid of and toss to the side, yeah, we can have conversations about that all day. You know, they don't mean nothing to you. But would you want your man showing pictures of you if you were married to his boys or to his friends? No. Those things create certain situations that you don't want to have no part of. You don't know what that girl's intentions is. Yeah, she might be your best friend. Yeah, you might know her for a long time and think, oh, she ain't doing that. But then again, you probably ain't seen an episode of Maury. Because I didn't see episodes of Maury and I didn't see episodes of reality shows. And at the end of the day, even though reality shows might be scripted, everything on TV is based off of something that really happened in real life. So no, boo-boo, you're not about to see no pictures of my man's nothing. Have you guys ever heard of anything like this? I've never heard of anything like this. Never heard of anybody trying to show off. Like, that's weird. I mean, what's next? You wanna see, you know, my stuff? That's just a little bit weird for me. And if somebody's going to stop cut me off and not be my friend anymore because of that, guess what, boo-boo? We ain't got to be friends. We ain't friends no more. Simple as that. You know, it's crazy because I really think that because people have so many different definitions of what friendship is, they're really losing what the real meaning is. And because at the end of the day, a friend is somebody that you should be able to talk to when you have issues and problems, and they should be able to do the same. If you decide that you don't want them to share something, then they won't share it. Those are what friends are. That's the basics of it. If you can't get the basics of it, then you're not really a friend. It's about having respect. It's about being able to be, you know, somebody you can lean a shoulder on, or I don't know, lean a voice to, whatever the case may be. A friend should encourage you. A friend should help guide you. That's all a friend is obligated to do and nothing else. So I read this update and I'm like, wow, that could never happen to me. But if you listen to this and you want to comment, let me know what you think. Whether it be, you know, post on here, comment on Twitter. Let me know what you think. What's your definition of a friend and how would you define a friendship? Let me know, guys. I'll be back next week. This was episode 3. What about your friends? Let me know. We'll be back next week with another topic here on My Thing Is This podcast. And again, in the future, you might hear me have a lot of conversations about friendship because I'm one of those people who really, really cherish friendships and a real loyal person. Just like I am with my husband, I'm loyal. I'm the same way when it comes to particular friendship. Even if we don't talk all the time or I don't conversate all the time, I'm always going to be worried about you. I'm always going to go that extra mile for my friends. So let me know what you think, guys. We'll be back next week. This is episode 3. What about friends? And I'm out.